Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing the people who ignored you yesterday are suddenly afraid of losing you, not because you begged for their attention, not because you demanded respect, but because you became someone they could no longer replace. Stay with me, because by the end of this speech, you'll understand why the most powerful people never chase attention. They build themselves until attention naturally follows. Before we begin, answer this honestly in the comments. Are you currently investing more energy in impressing people or improving yourself? Type improving if you're committed to becoming better every day. Most people spend their lives trying to become more liked. Few spend their lives becoming more valuable, and that single difference changes everything. Approval is temporary. Value is lasting. The person who constantly seeks attention becomes dependent on other people's opinions. The person who develops rare skills, emotional control, and unwavering discipline becomes independent of them. The world does not remember empty promises. It remembers consistent results. People don't truly value what is always available without effort, nor do they respect someone who abandons their standards just to keep everyone happy. Value begins with self-mastery. Every promise you keep to yourself, every difficult habit you build, every skill you improve, becomes another brick in the foundation of your confidence. You stop introducing yourself with words, your actions introduce you, your reputation arrives before you do. And once that happens, people begin treating you differently. If this message is helping you rethink your mindset, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. It helps more people build discipline, confidence, and lasting success, and you'll never miss future lessons like this. There is another quality that separates ordinary people from unforgettable ones: calmness. Anyone can remain pleasant when life is easy. Real strength appears when pressure arrives. When others panic, you stay composed. When others argue, you remain focused. When others react impulsively, you choose your response with discipline. Calmness is not weakness, it is controlled power. It tells the world that your emotions belong to you, not to anyone who tries to provoke you. Protect your time with the same seriousness that you protect your reputation. Every unnecessary argument, every meaningless distraction, every relationship built on convenience, instead of respect, take something from your future. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to leave without drama. Learn to invest your energy where it creates growth instead of exhaustion. Then become rare, not by pretending to be unavailable, but by refusing to waste your life on things that do not deserve it. Speak less. Observe more. Work while others seek applause. Improve while others complain. Build your character while others chase popularity. Over time, your consistency will become impossible to ignore. The people who once underestimated you will begin to recognize your value, not because you convinced them, because your life became undeniable evidence. Remember this. The goal is never to make people fear you. The goal is to become so disciplined, so dependable, and so valuable that people naturally understand the cost of losing access to your time, your trust, and your presence. Because when you respect yourself, protect your standards, and commit to relentless growth, you stop chasing opportunities. You become the opportunity. If this message changed your perspective, share it with someone who is committed to becoming stronger every day. And always remember, the rarest person in any room is not the loudest or the most admired. It is the one whose discipline, character, and quiet excellence make their absence impossible to replace. Here is the detailed explanation in the same style. True value is never created by seeking attention or trying to impress people. It is built through self-mastery, the lifelong process of developing your skills, strengthening your character, and gaining control over your habits and emotions. Many people spend years chasing recognition, hoping that praise from others will make them feel important. However, recognition that depends on external approval is temporary because opinions constantly change. Genuine value comes from becoming the kind of person whose abilities, integrity, and discipline speak for themselves. When your growth becomes your priority, respect naturally follows without the need to demand it. Self-mastery begins with taking responsibility for your own life. Instead of blaming circumstances, luck, or other people, you focus on the areas you can improve every day. This includes learning valuable skills, managing your time wisely, keeping your promises, and maintaining discipline even when no one is watching. Every small act of consistency strengthens your character. Over time, these habits shape your identity, transforming you into someone who can be trusted, relied upon, and respected in any environment. Developing valuable skills is equally important. Knowledge, competence, and continuous learning make you useful in ways that cannot easily be replaced. Whether you improve your communication, leadership, creativity, or problem-solving abilities, every new skill increases your ability to contribute meaningfully to the people around you. Those who constantly invest in learning become more confident because their self-belief is supported by real ability rather than empty optimism. Confidence built on competence remains stable even when challenges appear. Character is the foundation that holds everything together. A talented person without integrity eventually loses trust, while a disciplined person with strong values earns lasting respect. Honesty, reliability, humility, and accountability create a reputation that people remember long after achievements fade. Your reputation becomes one of your greatest assets because it reflects the choices you make every day, especially when no one is watching. As you continue mastering yourself, something remarkable happens. You stop seeking validation because your confidence comes from progress instead of praise. Your presence becomes valuable because people know you bring stability, wisdom, and consistency wherever you go. Real influence is not created by demanding attention, but by becoming so capable, disciplined, and dependable that your absence is noticed, your advice is respected, and your character becomes impossible to ignore through years of deliberate growth and unwavering commitment to excellence. Here is the detailed explanation in the same style. Emotional calm is one of the rarest forms of strength because it cannot be faked for long. Anyone can appear confident when everything is going according to plan, but true composure is revealed when pressure, criticism, or unexpected problems appear. In those moments, most people react impulsively. They allow anger, frustration, or fear to control their decisions. However, the individual who remains calm gains a powerful advantage because they continue thinking clearly while everyone else is overwhelmed by emotion. Calmness is not the absence of feeling. It is the ability to experience emotions without allowing them to control your actions. People often underestimate how much emotional discipline influences the way others perceive them. A person who loses control over every disagreement becomes predictable. Others quickly learn which words trigger them and which situations cause them to react emotionally. This makes manipulation easier because emotional reactions can be anticipated. In contrast, someone who stays composed is much more difficult to influence. Their decisions are based on reason rather than impulse, making them appear dependable, confident, and mentally strong. People naturally trust those who remain steady during uncertainty because stability creates a sense of security. Mastering emotional calm also improves decision-making. Strong emotions often narrow your perspective, causing you to focus only on immediate relief rather than long-term consequences. A calm mind, however, creates space to observe the situation objectively, evaluate possible outcomes, and choose the response that best aligns with your values. Sometimes the strongest action is speaking firmly. Other times it is remaining silent, walking away, or waiting until emotions settle before responding. This patience prevents unnecessary mistakes that are often made in moments of anger or fear. Emotional control is developed through daily practice rather than extraordinary moments. It grows each time you pause before reacting, listen before speaking, and choose discipline over impulse. Every situation that tests your patience becomes an opportunity to strengthen your self-control. Over time, these repeated choices shape your character and build quiet confidence that does not depend on circumstances. The person who masters emotional calm becomes difficult to intimidate, manipulate, or distract from meaningful goals. Their presence brings clarity instead of chaos because they respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. This steady composure becomes one of their greatest strengths, earning lasting respect and making their judgment, leadership, and character increasingly valuable in every area of life. Your time and attention are among the most valuable resources you possess because they can never be recovered once they are spent. Unlike money, which can often be earned again, every hour you waste on unnecessary distractions, meaningless arguments, or unhealthy relationships is permanently gone. People who become truly valuable understand this principle deeply. They do not allow everyone unlimited access to their time simply because someone asks for it. Instead, they invest their attention with intention, choosing people, opportunities, and activities that align with their values and long-term goals. This selectiveness naturally increases the value of their presence because they are guided by purpose rather than by the need to please others. Many people confuse scarcity with pretending to be unavailable or acting distant to gain attention. This approach is based on manipulation and rarely creates genuine respect. Real scarcity is different. It comes from having a meaningful life filled with responsibilities, personal growth, and worthwhile pursuits. When you are committed to improving your skills, protecting your peace, and working toward important goals, you naturally become more selective about where your energy goes. Your limited availability is not an act, it is the result of living with intention. Protecting your time also requires learning to say no without guilt. Every yes to something unimportant is often a no to something that truly matters. If you constantly accept invitations that drain your energy, engage in every argument, or respond to every demand immediately, you leave little room for your own growth. Setting healthy boundaries allows you to focus on what genuinely deserves your attention. People may not always understand your decisions, but those who respect you will appreciate that your priorities are guided by discipline rather than convenience. Attention is equally valuable because whatever receives your focus influences the direction of your life. Constant exposure to negativity, unnecessary drama, or endless distractions weakens your ability to think clearly and make wise decisions. Purposeful individuals guard their attention carefully, choosing to invest it in learning, meaningful relationships, creative work, and personal development instead of temporary entertainment or conflict. When people recognize that your time and attention are earned through trust, respect, and genuine connection rather than given away freely, they begin to appreciate your presence more deeply. Your value increases not because you become difficult to reach, but because your life reflects clear priorities, disciplined choices, and a commitment to investing your energy where it creates lasting growth instead of temporary satisfaction. Speaking less and allowing your results to speak louder is one of the strongest ways to build lasting influence and respect. Many people feel the need to constantly explain their plans, defend their decisions, or convince others of their potential. They believe that talking more will increase their credibility. In reality, credibility is rarely earned through words alone. It is earned through consistent action. People may be impressed by confident promises for a moment, but they remember the person who quietly delivers results again and again. When your actions consistently match your intentions, you no longer need to persuade others of your value because your reputation becomes the evidence. Speaking less also helps you become a better observer. While others are busy expressing every opinion or revealing every plan, you gain valuable information by listening carefully. You notice people's habits, motivations, strengths, and weaknesses without drawing unnecessary attention to yourself. This awareness allows you to make wiser decisions because you respond to reality rather than assumptions. Careful observation often provides more advantage than endless conversation because knowledge grows through listening, not constant speaking. Confidence should never be confused with silence caused by fear or insecurity. A confident person speaks when their words add value, clarify an important point, or protect their principles. They avoid unnecessary arguments, excessive self-promotion, and the constant need for recognition. Their words are deliberate because they understand that speaking less gives greater weight to what they choose to say. People naturally pay closer attention to someone whose communication is thoughtful and purposeful rather than frequent and impulsive. Results also create trust in ways that promises never can. Anyone can claim to be disciplined, reliable, or capable, but only consistent performance proves those qualities. Completing responsibilities, honoring commitments, solving problems, and maintaining integrity over time gradually build a reputation that cannot be manufactured through appearances. This reputation becomes one of your greatest assets because people begin expecting excellence from you based on experience rather than expectation. The most respected individuals understand that influence grows quietly. They spend less time announcing what they intend to accomplish and more time working until the results become impossible to ignore. Their confidence comes from preparation, discipline, and repeated success rather than attention or applause. By allowing your actions to consistently reflect your character and your values, you create an authority that speaks long before you enter the conversation, making your presence memorable not because of how much you say, but because of what you consistently achieve. Walking away from one-sided relationships is one of the strongest demonstrations of self-respect and emotional maturity. Many people remain in unhealthy friendships, romantic relationships, or professional connections because they fear loneliness, rejection, or starting over. They continue investing time, energy, and loyalty into people who rarely return the same effort. Over time, this imbalance becomes emotionally exhausting. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect, trust, and shared commitment. When only one person consistently gives while the other only receives, the relationship gradually becomes a source of stress instead of strength. One-sided relationships often develop slowly, making them difficult to recognize at first. You may find yourself always initiating conversations, making sacrifices, offering support, or adjusting your schedule, while the other person rarely does the same. Your kindness begins to feel expected instead of appreciated. Your efforts are taken for granted, and your absence goes unnoticed until the other person needs something from you. This pattern quietly lowers your self-worth because it teaches you to accept less than you deserve. Walking away does not mean giving up after every disagreement or refusing to work through normal challenges. Every meaningful relationship experiences conflict, misunderstandings, and periods of difficulty. The difference is that healthy relationships involve effort from both sides. When both people are willing to communicate honestly, take responsibility for mistakes, and work toward improvement, the relationship grows stronger. However, when only one person continues trying while the other repeatedly ignores boundaries, breaks trust, or shows little interest in changing, remaining in the situation often causes more harm than leaving it. Choosing to leave a one-sided relationship requires courage because it means accepting temporary discomfort in exchange for long-term peace. It also creates space for healthier connections to develop. When you stop investing your energy in people who consistently undervalue you, you have more time to invest in your own growth and in relationships where respect and appreciation exist naturally. The willingness to walk away also changes how others perceive you. People recognize that your time, trust, and presence are not unlimited resources available regardless of how they behave. They understand that access to your life depends on mutual respect rather than convenience. By refusing to remain where your value is repeatedly ignored, you reinforce your own standards and create a life surrounded by people who appreciate your character, respect your boundaries, and willingly contribute to a relationship built on balance, trust, and genuine mutual care. Becoming rare is not about being mysterious, unreachable, or trying to appear superior to others. It is about developing qualities that are increasingly uncommon in a world where many people seek quick results, instant gratification, and constant approval. A person becomes rare by living with discipline every day, consistently choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. While many individuals begin with enthusiasm, very few remain committed when progress becomes slow or difficult. It is this unwavering consistency that separates those who are easily forgotten from those whose presence leaves a lasting impression. Discipline is the foundation of rarity because it transforms good intentions into dependable habits. Anyone can feel motivated for a few days, but disciplined people continue working even when excitement fades. They honor their commitments, protect their routines, and remain focused on their goals regardless of temporary emotions. This consistency builds trust because people know they can rely on someone whose actions remain steady under changing circumstances. Reliability is one of the most valuable qualities a person can possess, and it naturally earns respect in every area of life. Integrity makes that discipline even more powerful. A person with integrity does the right thing even when no one is watching and when there is no immediate reward. They keep their promises, admit mistakes, and remain honest even when dishonesty might seem easier. Over time, these choices build a reputation that cannot be purchased or imitated. People remember individuals whose character remains consistent because true integrity is becoming increasingly uncommon. Continuous growth is another quality that makes someone rare. Instead of becoming comfortable with past achievements, they continue learning, improving, and adapting. They welcome constructive feedback, develop new skills, and seek opportunities to become wiser rather than simply appearing successful. This commitment to improvement keeps them valuable because they never allow complacency to replace curiosity. Every year they become more capable, more disciplined, and more effective than they were before. Living with discipline every day also changes how you see yourself. You no longer depend on praise to feel confident because your confidence is supported by a history of consistent effort and personal growth. Others begin to recognize that your presence brings stability, reliability, and genuine value. They appreciate your time because they understand it is invested with purpose, and they respect your character because it has been proven through repeated actions. In a world where consistency is increasingly uncommon, the person who lives with discipline, integrity, and continuous self-improvement naturally becomes rare, memorable, and difficult to replace.